CTV News with Sarah Freemark.
It's that time of the year. CTV Barrie is back with its annual Feeding Families campaign. There's a live shot on this Thursday night as we spread hope, support, and good food to communities in need right across our region. Good evening. Tonight we're out in the community once again with our Feeding Families food drive. Our team, along with Pure Country and Bounce Radio, will be traveling right across the region over the next couple of weeks to collect donations to help support local food banks. And tonight we find CTV's Luke Simard at Zehrs on Bayfield Street. Luke, over to you.
Well, Sarah, to start off, what a fantastic night it was at Peggy Hill on Monday. We saw so many people stop by the Peggy Hill team office and donate some non-perishable food items that are directly going towards the Barrie Food Bank. Now, here we are at stop number 2, right here on Zehrs Bayfield. Karen Shue just pulled in with that Barrie Food Bank truck, and we are planning to fill that truck up. Yes, if you have to do some grocery shopping tonight, there is no better place to do it than right here at Zehrs Bayfield. When you walk on in, you'll be greeted by our radio team as well as myself for the Feeding Families campaign. You can go on in, do some shopping, and if you're able to, of course, drop off some items as well. Zehrs has graciously pre-packed some bags that you are able to purchase right at the counter as you are checking out for $5 or $10, making it super convenient. And yes, once again, all of that goes directly towards the food bank. So come on out, say hi to myself. Casey Colby is here as well, and so is Steph from Bounce 104.1. Sarah, we're here till 7 p.m., so there's no better time than to come on out and support the Barrie Food Bank right here at Zehrs Bayfield.
All right, thanks for that, Luke. We'll see him and the rest of the team a little later in the newscast. Barrie transit workers took to the streets today for a practice picket.
No us! No us! No us!
The action at Barrie Allendale Transit Terminal is meant to prepare members in case of a potential strike as contract negotiations continue. The practice picket did not cause any service disruptions, but the move signals growing pressure in talks. Local 1775 and contractor MVT Canadian Bus are scheduled to resume contract talks tomorrow, and if no new agreement is reached, employees have been mandated by the union to strike on Monday. The city of Barrie has been actively working to rebuild after one of the worst ice storms in recent memory hit the region last year, and now we're receiving a big boost. Ontario is allocating more than $26 million to cover cleanup, repairs, and emergency response from the March 2025 storm, with additional support for our neighbors in Innisfil. The storm had a significant impact on the urban tree canopy as well, with more than 5,000 trees lost throughout our city. A Newmarket jury has reached a verdict in the murder trial of a man accused of killing his former girlfriend inside her Richmond Hill home 3 years ago. This story contains details that are disturbing and may be triggering to viewers. CTV's Mike Arsaelides reports.
Following more than 5 weeks of trial, a Newmarket jury has found Daniel Matten guilty of first-degree murder as charged. The court heard it was on August 25, 2023, when police were called to this home on Taylor Mills Drive South in Richmond Hill for a welfare check. Inside the home, York Regional Police investigators found the body of 43-year-old Marina Nagolia and her injured former boyfriend, the 38-year-old accused of her murder. Matten was found with what was described as self-inflicted wounds to his throat. He was initially charged with second-degree murder and remained in custody since that night. Nagolia, who was a former model from Russia, divorced with a young daughter, dated Matten for about 4 years until she ended their relationship. Matten attempted to reconcile with Nagolia, and 2 days after returning from a trip to Cuba, Nagolia was found dead in her home. The forensic pathologist ruled Nagolia, who was found with several stab wounds, died of neck compressions. The jury had to decide whether Matten was guilty of first or second-degree murder, the lesser included offensive manslaughter, or not guilty. The Crown argued Nagolia had also been sexually assaulted by Matten. Defense counsel declined to provide comment on the guilty verdict. The matter is scheduled to return to court later this month to set a date for Matten's sentencing hearing. Mike Arsaelides, CTV News, Newmarket.
Mars Canada is investing $180 million to expand and modernize its Ontario operations with major impacts in Newmarket and Bolton. In Newmarket, there will be a $40 million upgrade to snacking operations to increase production capacity. And in Bolton, at the facility that's been in the community for 25 years now, $86 million is going into boosting production for pet nutrition. The company says the investment supports more than 1,800 workers across the region. And big news for Orillia tonight. The city is once again getting ready to welcome athletes from across the province, but this time for a Winter Games geared towards a different demographic. CTV's Rob Cooper brings us more from a city that surely knows how to draw the community together around sport.
Another feather in the cap for the city of Orillia as they earn the right to host the 2028 Ontario 55-plus Winter Games.
These games are the province's premier winter sporting event for seniors. And they are a testament to the benefits of long life, healthy, active living.
The province is giving the Games $325,000 for the multi-day event, which is held every 2 years. The most recent was last month when Huntsville and Muskoka hosted the Games. This will mark the 5th time Orillia has been selected to host an event like this. They just finished welcoming more than 2,500 12 to 18-year-olds over 2 weeks for the 2026 Ontario Winter Games. The mayor says the economic spin-offs are somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million.
These are real dollars supporting local businesses, accommodations, restaurants, and services right here in Orillia.
Businesses around the city are excited to see another major sporting event coming to Orillia.
I mean, it definitely helps restaurants, helps gas stations, it helps the hotels, it helps shopping. I mean, Orillia is very fortunate and lucky to have these folks coming here, and we're lucky that we're being picked to host it.
Stores that line the downtown are also eager to have the extra visitors for the 3-day event.
And it helps to secure Orillia's reputation as a destination, as not just for tourism, but for events and sports like this.
The full list of events has not yet been finalized, but the events will be scattered throughout the city. Orillia's new rec center and Rotary Place will be used throughout the Games. Organizers of the Games say they will be looking for volunteers, so if you're interested in helping out, simply reach out to the city. More than 1,000 athletes expected to take part in over 10 events. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Orillia.
Time for our first look at weather, and for that we head back to Zehrs on Bayfield. How's it going, Case?
Oh, it's going really nice. I'm inside right now here. Zehrs Bayfield, feeding families food drive behind me. Luke and all his friends are here, and there's cameraman Chris. The whole gang's here. Good evening. Yes, good evening. People are dropping by with donations. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the very last full day of winter. Right, Mother Nature? Well, take a look. Weather Watches and Warnings Board, and I want to draw your attention, that area there. That, in the left-hand side of your screen, encompassing some of Gray and Bruce County, is a freezing rain warning, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it's already there in the area in Gray, which is just about our entire region. Well, that's a weather advisory for the freezing rain that is on the way for the very last full day of winter. Let's move things along as we take a first look at the forecast. 1 degree right now outside our beautiful Barrie studios. 1 degree in Barrie. It looks like the winds are picking up out of the west, about 26 kilometers an hour. They'll gust as high as about 40 a little later on. And the temperature outside your door right now, well, that's 1 degree reading in Parry Sound, 2 degrees in the Sunshine City of Orillia, 4 in Alliston, and 6 in Toronto. I'll also point out that's about 4 degrees right now in Peterborough, where our beautiful Barrie Colts are playing this evening. This, incidentally, is radar satellite images over the last little while, and yes, considerable cloud cover. Yeah, not as much sun as we possibly had hoped for, but coming up in just a few minutes' time, what we are looking at is spring arrives, and the first full day of spring on Saturday. All that coming up in a few minutes' time, including the Feeding Family Food Drive with Lukey coming up in just a few minutes' time. Sarah, back to you.
And here I thought the day of awkwardness had passed. Thanks, Case. We'll see you in a bit. Barrie is making headlines, ranking as one of the best places to live, not just in the region and not just in Ontario, but in all of Canada. CTV's Jack Morris has more on how that ranking came to be and what locals think of it all. Jack.
Well, Sarah, 6 of the top 10 best places to live in the entire country are right here in Ontario, including nearby Sudbury. But Barrie, the city of Barrie, well, that got the number 2 spot. From beaches to slopes, fishing to hiking, Barrie's a year-round attraction. And now a new report says it's the second best place to live in the entire country.
I love Barrie. I love Barrie. This is like, I came 4 years ago and I just want to stay here. It's north, live by the lake, and it's growing, like expanding, like big.
Marketing firm De Novo commissioned the study. It ranked cities using 5 metrics: safety, disposable income, quality of life, pollution, and attractions.
Great place to live. I've been here for 10 years, okay, and I'm 100% happy with it.
I agree. It's a nice area to live in. Everybody's pretty nice for the most part. You can't complain.
That is actually a wonderful thing to hear, honestly. I grew up here my entire life. The school's here. Lots of great things to see and do here. Wonderful people.
For many, it's no surprise at all, but there are some who are a little more skeptical.
To be honest, a bit surprised.
It's an okay city. There's lots of homeless everywhere, but other than that, it's okay.
I'm surprised, but yeah, no, it's a good city. I've been raised in this area, so I've been in Barrie for a long time.
Tourism Barrie says the city has a few advantages. It's a short drive from Toronto, a convenient midpoint between southern Ontario and the north, and the hub of Simcoe and Muskoka. This is a recognition of that.
Our saying is today's visitor is tomorrow's investor. So if you can get them here to say, hey, why is Barrie so wonderful? Let's go visit it. And then they see how beautiful the city is and then stay here. And of course, open up businesses, buy homes, and that goes the economy.
But some say they don't think we're second place at all.
We should be number 1.
I'm thinking it's going to be number 1 in the next 5 years.
I think it should be number 1.
Well, Sarah, the city is growing at a breakneck speed, set to double in size and population in the next 25 years. And that's at least one sign that many people agree that Ontario, Barrie, right here, is one of the best places in this country to live. Sarah.
Based in our community, I'd say we are number 1. Thanks for that, Shaq. Now, coming up a little later in the show, we'll turn our focus of affordability to the real estate market and see where Barrie ranks when it comes to owning a property. Ontario's health minister has announced an expansion of the province's primary care action plan. The new province-wide medical record system will connect patients to family doctors and care teams by reducing paperwork for doctors, ultimately speeding up the process and helping people receive more coordinated care faster. The plan is backed by $3.4 billion in funding between 2025 and 2029. The University of Oxford published its annual World Happiness Report. In Canada, we ranked 25th. The new report shows well-being is declining among young people in several countries. Life satisfaction for those under 25 in Canada, the States, Australia, and New Zealand has dropped sharply over the past decade. Researchers say that heavy social media use is a major factor, with teenage girls in English-speaking countries most affected. Meanwhile, Finland tops the list as the world's happiest country for a 9th straight year, with other Nordic nations also ranking in the top 10. Meanwhile, new data from Statistics Canada is outlining the impact that screen time is having on kids. Researchers tracked the same group of children in 2019, 2023, and found just 44% met Canadian screen time guidelines. That means no screens under the age of 2, up to 1 hour for kids 2 to 5, and a max of 2 hours for ages 5 to 17. Children who stayed within those limits or less likely to experience anxiety, vision issues, or difficulties with learning, memory, and making friends. One of the region's biggest and busiest food banks is counting on our Feeding Families campaign to help support local people in need. Luke has been coming to us live tonight from Zehrs and brings us more on the needs of the nonprofit. Luke.
Yes, Sarah. Well, we've moved indoors and the party's just getting started here. We are on location at Zehrs Bayfield until 7 p.m. collecting food donations, non-perishable items for our Feeding Families campaign. Now, we heard from Karen Shu, Executive Director of the Barrie Food Bank, on Monday, and she's back with us again at Zehrs Bayfield. Now, on Monday, we talked about what the food bank needs. But an important question I think that people sometimes don't know is if they need to use the food bank, well, how can they?
So you come to the food bank when there is month left over and there's the next paycheck or the next source of income is not coming in. So when there's more month than money. And so in order to use the food bank, all we ask is for 2 pieces of identification that prove that you live in Barrie. So we are funded by the community for the community. And so just prove that you live in Barrie. And then when you shop based on your household size. And so you'll go and you'll literally push a cart through our warehouse up and down the aisles, and you choose based on the entitlements for the household size, the quantities that are that you're entitled to. And you can take time and read the labels and make sure that it's something that you like to eat and what you know how to prepare. And so last month we had over 7,500 visits to the food bank, and that was up 17%.
Wow, and it's kind of just like you're still getting that grocery store experience when you come to the food bank. And you mentioned that rise in the usage of the food bank. What are you seeing demographically? What age ranges are you seeing come to the food bank?
So there's 4 key demographics that will probably shock some of your viewers. 38% of our clients are children under the age of 18, and that has increased by 17% over last year. We're also seeing increasingly a number of seniors. So we had 376 seniors come to see us last month, and that's up 34% from last year. We had about 340 first-time users who had never needed the support of the food bank before come to see us for the very first time. And then lastly, 1 in 4 of our clients have employment income. So they have jobs, they're working, but there's part-time jobs, no benefits, seasonal, precarious, gig employment, and they're doing everything right, but there's just not enough hours to be able to pay for the basic necessities.
And that's where the Feeding Families campaign comes in. So Karen, thank you so much for chatting with us today. And come and support the Feeding Families campaign. You can come and do some grocery shopping, grab some non-perishable food items, and we got the buckets right here for everyone to make a donation and help support your own community today. Sarah?
Thanks for that, Luke. We'll have more from the Feeding Families food drive a little later, but on the other side of the break, getting glammed for a good cause. Back for another year, how this annual event helps women and children right here in our community, plus makes you feel pretty good about yourself. Plus, calling all train enthusiasts, go back in time with this overnight stay in Muskoka. Details next here on CTV Barrie. Welcome back. Are you due for a mother-daughter day or perhaps a fun, fabulous outing? Whatever the reason, enjoy a day of pampering and you'll be supporting a crucial shelter here in Simcoe County. This Sunday marks the 7th annual Glam It Up Barrie event, a day of glamour, community, and purpose. Whether you're mingling or updating your portfolio, it brings together beauty professionals and more for the full experience, all under one roof, one day only, and highlighting 3 factors.
Community, networking, and giving back. Community, because community likes to come together and be a part of something bigger. Networking, where local professionals such as makeup artists, hairstylists, photographers come together and network. And not only that, giving back to a great cause.
Barrie Kreiser will transform this Sunday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for Glam It Up Barrie, put on by Beyond Giving, a community-led organization dedicated to empowering women, and the proceeds support the Women and Children's Shelter of Barrie. All aboard! A passion and lifelong love of trains has a Muskoka man inviting people on the rails to share his interest for a night or two. Welcome to Sidetracked in Muskoka, a truly unique Airbnb experience on board a fully restored 1978 Ontario Northlands caboose, sitting on 50 feet of track alongside the Muskoka Forest. It honors the love of railway travel in the most comfortable way, with rail memorabilia and accommodation for 4 who want to spend some time in caboose.
We wanted to tell the history of the Ontario Northland Railway as best we could in just a little area that we had. So as you come in, you can kind of see like certain little things, you know, the electrical panels decorated with a map, the timetable of the Ontario Northland Railway with the logos that they've used throughout their history. You know, as you walk through the caboose, you see the boxcar design around the bathroom.
You can enjoy the Sidetracked in Muskoka experience any time of the year. Adventures in time travel have returned to Simard among the Hurons, transporting visitors to Windigate back in 1649.
So it's used for pots. Normally on a fire, so you have your pot right on here, over the fire. The fire would burn underneath and you could create your soups. So like a sigamate.
The kids love it. You know, they love running around. They love seeing all the fun, cool things in the old world, and yeah, we're excited.
This one-of-a-kind experience features hands-on activities and immersive demonstrations that invite families to explore daily life in the 1600s. You can sample historic food, see clothes from the time period, and even search for hidden artifacts throughout the reconstructed settlement.
We want to really make that strong connection to the past. We want to invite people to come and experience it. Parents and grandparents are coming. They're bringing their kids. There are hands-on activities to explore for March break. Corn husk doll making. You can get your hands dirty with clay. You can explore the culture. You can explore the Indigenous side of what happened here.
And for those looking to extend the adventure, you can look forward to the Sweetwater Festival. It's coming up on March 27th, running until the 29th. There is always a lot going on around our region, from Simcoe County all the way up north, and we keep tabs of it all on our website. There it is, ctvnews.ca/Barrie, or scan that QR code on your screen. So we now know that the Bank of Canada is holding its interest rate steady once again at 2.25%. So what does that mean for the local real estate market? Joining us now to talk about just that is real estate broker Peggy Hill. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Sarah.
What changes are we seeing, if any, here in Simcoe County?
Well, the Bank of Canada held, and that was widely expected. And you know, to be honest, the last few times that they've dropped, they realized that they can't help us at this point with interest rate cuts. So we're just plugging along. They didn't go up, so we're just holding our own, which is probably good news on its own.
Little earlier in the newscast, we were talking about affordability in the grand scheme of things. So when we look at Barrie in particular, where do we rank when it comes to housing?
So percentage-wise, because you got to remember, like, Toronto prices are crazier than ours. So percentage-wise, we probably have dropped a little more than Toronto. However, we had gone up more. So when the pandemic first hit, everybody was flocking to Barrie because they didn't want to touch anybody, they didn't want to breathe on anybody, so they were all flocking to Barrie, and we had affordable price points. So what happened was they drove our prices up because we had no inventory. So right now, our prices have steadily slowed, but the opportunity that's given Simcoe County is that we have first-time buyers and they can afford to buy here, where they can't afford to buy. Newmarket has seen the same thing. So anything kind of north of Aurora has seen the same turbulence. So it's a double-edged sword because we still have buyers, and that's not maybe the case in Toronto.
What would you say to people that are getting nervous? I mean, we've been reassuring people for seemingly so long now.
So what I want to tell people is that when the March numbers come out in April and May and June, they're probably going to sound better than they did last year. We've been grappling with this for well over a year. Tariffs came well over a year ago. So the numbers now are apples to apples. In fact, it was probably worse last year because we were in such shock over what was happening. People just stopped moving altogether. They were just, okay, I can't do this. But, you know, being in this state of shock for a year, it's kind of worn off a little, wouldn't you guys think? So we're just kind of playing it by ear at this point.
Okay. Now, I understand you brought a special guest with you here today.
I did.
Would you like to invite young Austin to join us here on the CTV
I would.
set? This is your grandson. Hi, Austin.
Hi, I'm Peggy's grandson.
This is Peggy's grandson. Now it's time for us to head outside to KC for the weather. So can you say out to you, KC?
Out to you, Casey.
Yes, Sarah, smells like spring out here. It's outside of Zehrs. Think spring, it arrives tomorrow at 10:46 in the morning. Yes. Zehrs. And our weather watcher artiste will have a look. Haley says, little freezing rain, don't sweat it. Spring solves everything. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
The Real Estate Spotlight is brought to you by the Peggy Hill team.
Hi, we're Martin and Steph.
From Bounce 104.1.
And this week on the show, Bounce to the Bank is back. Brought to you by Midland Toyota.
That's right. There's a daily prize of $1,000 and a grand prize of $25,000 up for grabs.
So make sure you tune in Monday to Friday to get those keywords and enter them at bounce1041.ca.
Picture this. Brought to you by Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
And that is why Barrie ranks #2 in all of the country. Thank you, everyone, for sharing those precious March break moments. So much to see and do. Keep them coming. Picture this at ctv.ca. Now, we have another fabulous centenarian to celebrate tonight on CTV Barrie. We would like to wish Mildred a happy 102nd birthday, lovingly referred to as Sunshine. She gathered with her Aquafit friends in Schaumburg yesterday, but her birthday was on St. Patrick's Day. She likes painting, knitting, and her Aquafit. A big thank you to Donna for all of her hard work, and Adele and Shirley for the delicious birthday cake that we just saw. In case, I would love to mention that she lives at home with her daughter, Marlene. How sweet is that? A happy 102nd birthday.
That is very sweet, absolutely, and very sweet indeed. And I'm sure that she certainly believes in keeping a very tidy house, and that's what we're doing here. We're just kind of cleaning stuff up, gathering a few carts. There you go. Yeah, just cleaning up the parking lot. That's what we're going to do. Feeding Families Food Drive. Luke and all his friends are inside Zehrs right now. Come on down and see us. It's a beautiful evening. It is turning out to be quite a fantastic evening. Let's take a look right now as we dive into the forecast and have a look at... let's talk about one gorgeous degree in Barrie. That's what we're looking at. And Owen Sound sitting at about 2 degrees. Perry Sound, up to Perry Sound, 1 degree in Perry Sound. And how about we have one more temperature? Well, let's take a look at... I'm going to let you know that 1 degree in Orillia is what we're looking at right now. Let's continue on right now as we dive into the forecast and take a look at the rest of our entire forecast. And yes, let me see. As we take a look at, this is the forecast radar. A high of 2 degrees today is what we're looking at, which is kind of lovely, and a low of 5 degrees. We'll continue on. 21 degrees. That's right. That's our record high, 21 degrees, which is quite lovely. And let's take a look. Here we go with the forecast. And continuing on, this is it as far as the forecast radar goes. What is that blasts through? That is a freezing rain warning that just cycled its way through, and some shower activity and maybe even a few flurries too. Here we go. Let's break it down. Take a look at some of the numbers. Diving in the southern tip of Georgian Bay Lake Simcoe overnight, sitting at about -2, -3 in Owen Sound, Collingwood area, pretty much -3 everywhere else too. And we are looking at, for the better part of the evening, cloudy skies and the start of some snow flurries, about 5 centimeters, changing to ice and risk of freezing rain. And the winds picking up out of the west, 30 to 50 K. Let's have a look right now, and this is a look at the snowfall tomorrow, about 5 centimeters. Going to be a messy day, as mentioned. Spring around 10:46, but we're also looking at the opportunity for more ice pellets and a little bit of shower activity. You can see the temperatures ranging 3, 4, 6 degrees for the high. Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill. Well, freezing rain is certainly a possibility. We're also looking at a little bit of snow, no set accumulation, and some shower activity. Wow, what a wild way for winter to go out, and plenty of low-lying fog. Then 5 degrees for tomorrow. Freezing rain, Snow possibilities, certainly 2 to 4 centimeters according to Environment Canada, should not surprise. And at some point, it could turn to rain. Yeah. Parry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Halliburton. Wind chill overnight of -10 and some snow for us this evening. How much snow? Well, apparently just trace amounts overnight, but tomorrow, 3 degrees and an additional 5 to 10 centimeters of snow for us to enjoy. Yeah, that's the one wild way to welcome spring, I might add. That's tonight and tomorrow. Let's go to the 5-day extended forecast. And here we go. We're looking at cloudy skies for our first full day of spring. It looks like plenty of cloud cover and 6 degrees for the high. Rain, snow combination on Sunday, -3 below the freezing mark on Monday. There's a peak of sunshine for you. Certainly more than a peak, hopefully. -3 for the high, and then 1 degree, a sun and cloud mix, and 40% chance of snow flurries. This is the 5-day extended forecast, York Region. Have a look. Wow, Saturday looks gorgeous. 5 degrees, sun and cloud wrestling for the sky. Sunday looks like rain moves in, holding steady at 5 until Monday. Well, still the sun and cloud, nice, but 1 degree. And then 40% chance of flurry activity on the Tuesday. Let's go compare Sound, Halliburton, have a look. Saturday at this point looks like cloudy skies and 5 degrees, 2 degrees on the Sunday, rain, snow mix, and cloudy, 30% chance of a few flurries kicking around. And Tuesday arrives, and it looks like a sun-cloud mix and a 40% chance of snow. So yes, spring officially arrives tomorrow morning, but Mother Nature's not quite done with like the winter temperatures and the winter conditions. But Sarah, just think spring. Think spring.
Thinking good thoughts for spring to come. Now that is our full weather forecast, but our Feeding Family food drive is in full swing. Tonight we are collecting donations live in the community, and boy, have you been showing up. Let's head back to there now. Luke joins us live once again with more. How's it going, Luke?
Well, Sarah, it's going really well. We're seeing lots of people stopping by, saying hi, and they're grabbing a bag of donations from Zehrs as well. So we're here at Zehrs Bayfield for our Feeding Families campaign, and Zehrs has made it really easy for everybody coming by tonight doing some grocery shopping. They have pre-packed some bags for us, a $5 or a $10 bag, and if you're buying a bag and you're not sure what's in it, well, that's why we're here. So Steph from Bounce Radio has graciously agreed to help me out for this as well. So Steph, we're going to open up this bag right now. So if you spend $10 at Zehrs, what exactly are you supporting with the Barrie Food Bank? So the first thing we have is a chicken flavor, kind of like a Mr. Noodles style item. It's great for lunch, and it's going to give you a satisfying hot meal. Coming up next, we have the classic macaroni and cheese, again, a staple in most homes for dinner, right? Coming up next, we have whole kennel corn in a can. Yeah, it's the classic as well. And once again, you're feeding a family. This is $10, so it's providing a meal for a family of 4, and you can't forget about tomato sauce, which is our next item as well. And of course, with tomato sauce, well, you're going to be missing one item. Oh, there it is. Thank you so much. Spaghetti, some pasta as well. So once again, a $10 bag is going to feed a family of 4 for a day or two. And of course, we can't finish off with some protein. Everyone needs protein. So coming up next, in the last item in our $10 bag, is some tuna. Now, Zehrs also has $5 bags available as well. You can come on down, donate to the Feeding Families campaign. It's going directly back into your community and supporting the Barrie Food Bank. There's no easier way to do it. You can do your grocery shopping, have a grand old time, and then at checkout you can throw in one of these bags that is going to be feeding a family right here in our community. So stay tuned. Of course, the Feeding Families campaign, we'll be hearing from Steph from Bounce Radio in just a few minutes' time, coming up a little bit later. Sarah?
Thanks, Luke. Always love to see Steph and Martin out in the community. They do a lot. Still to come, to tip or not to tip? That is the question. Many countries don't tip on restaurant bills, and now Canada is considering the same. Both sides of that debate coming up next. Recapping our top stories, 38-year-old Daniel Matin has been found guilty of first-degree murder in the death of his former girlfriend, 43-year-old Marina Nagolia, in 2023. A sentencing date for Matin will be set later this month. The city of Orillia will host the 2028 Ontario 55-plus Winter Games as the province is providing $325,000 for the multi-day event, which is held every 2 years. More than 1,000 athletes are expected to take part in about 10 events. And a new survey breaks down the top 10 best places to live in Canada, and Barrie takes the number 2 spot. Marketing firm De Novo commissioned the study. It ranks cities using 5 metrics: safety, disposable income, quality of life, pollution, and attractions. Well, we certainly always have a blast with our live on location donation collection broadcasts, and a big part of that are radio partners. Luke is joined now by a familiar face who always brings excitement to these drives with enthusiasm and always great stories of community support. Luke, appreciate that.
Yeah, and a big smile as well, Sarah. We can't forget that. Yes, we're joined by Steph from Bounce Radio. Once again, first off, thank you so much for helping me with the last hit there, taking the food out of the bag. Listen, we're having a great time. Steph's keeping the radio vibes going as well. Now, Steph, I just want to ask you, while you've been here today, what exactly have you seen and how nice has it been to see the community come out?
Oh, it's such a great time to always see people come and be so thoughtful in their giving. We've got some diapers, but some bigger size diapers. So exactly what the food bank is asking for, saying they need to put on their shelves. Also tons of lunch snacks for school lunches, which is great. And then as well, things that, to get some protein. You've got those canned meats and things that are really, really helping. So I'm just loving seeing the people walk around the store and choose what they might like to find in their pantry and giving it here tonight.
And I guess that begs the question then, why is it so important for you that people come out to the community and support the food bank?
We're all in this together, and I think a lot of folks are saying this is hard times. Gas is expensive, groceries are expensive, and so you might not think that you're ever going to need the food bank, but if you do, it's there. And as we come together as a community, sometimes you're the one that's able to donate, and sometimes you're the one that's the beneficiary. And I think that's the way a community works, is giving back and being able to accept donations as well.
Awesome, Steph. Well, thank you so much for being here with us. Once again, that was Steph from Bounce Radio. We are here till 7 p.m. tonight. And if you're worried about what to donate, well, listen, Zehrs makes it easy for you. You can go and grab one of the bags that we previewed for you. You can drop it off to us here. Karen is from the food bank. She's ready to pack the van, and we're just having a grand old time as part of the Feeding Families campaign. Sarah, we'll send it back to you.
Time now to turn to our business news. Gas prices have surged again as the war between the U.S., Israel, and Iran rages on. The price of regular gas went up at midnight to more than $1.70 a liter at most GTA stations. In Barrie, Pioneer on Yonge Street seems to be one of the lowest at $158.9 a liter. Dan McTagg with Canadians for Affordable Energy is predicting another 1-cent increase tomorrow, followed by a 4-cent increase on Saturday. Now, we do still have that CTV web poll on our website right now. We'd like you to weigh in on the rising gas prices and whether that will affect your travel habits. Your options are, yes, I'll make a point to drive less. No, I'll still drive as much as usual, or you're not sure. It depends on just how high those prices go. So far, the majority say they will be trying to drive less. I hear you. Participate at ctvnews.ca/Barrie. And as tensions in the Middle East intensify, markets in Canada saw another day of declines. Let's take a look at where the numbers closed. The TSX was down 457 points, the Dow was down 203, and the Nasdaq was down 61. And commodities, oil was up, closing at $95.55 a barrel. Gold was down, finishing at $4,605 an ounce, and our dollar was down, ending the day at 72.77 cents U.S. A new survey suggests the majority of Canadians are fed up with tipping and want to get rid of it altogether. CTV's Kimberly Fowler digs into the data and how a change could impact the service industry.
A lot of Canadians say they're pretty much done with tipping.
I think it should be included in the price. You shouldn't be asked to tip.
Just because you're doing your job doesn't mean you need to be tipped for doing your job.
Many businesses implemented suggesting tipping options during the pandemic, but now the expectation to leave a tip has some customers saying it's gone too far.
I used to love tipping extra for really good service, and I feel like that's kind of gone away now. Even for bare minimum service, they expect 18-20%.
And they're not alone. A new survey by H&R Block finds 2/3 of Canadians want to do away with the practice. And nearly 9 out of 10 people say they resent businesses that ask for tips at places where they don't feel tipping is necessary. And 4 out of 10 people say they avoid going to places that ask for tips at the register like fast food places, coffee shops, or self-service counters.
I go to Chuck's here quite a bit. They don't ask for a tip, and the service is fantastic.
At Chuck's Deli and Convenience at train yards, tips aren't expected, but appreciated.
They have a tip jar, which is optional at the counter, which I do quite often with them because the ladies are fabulous.
The owner believes all tips should be left up to his customers.
Some good customers like to, and some people they don't. They walk out without tipping. One guy, construction worker guys, he grabbed a $50 and he put it for a lady. So you never know.
Chicken pickle vegetable?
But getting rid of tipping could affect the day-to-day operations in the service industry, and at restaurants, it could mean higher prices for customers to offset the loss of income to employees.
I would assume it would be included in the price. I mean, minimum wage is quite high already, so if tipping were to be taken away, I don't know what that would look like. I don't know what the workforce would look like for that.
But many say the tip options make them feel guilty or pressured.
Even though we feel annoyed by this question for the tip on the machine, 57% of us, so more than half of us, will give a tip anyway.
Kimberly Fowler, CTV News.
Next on CTV Barrie, taking the fan experience to the next level. For the first time, the Toronto Maple Leafs invited hockey lovers into their world for the ultimate taste of what it's like to be a Bud. You're watching CTV News Barrie. Here's a look at your primetime lineup. 4 back-to-back episodes of The New Girl starting at 8, followed by Criminal Minds at 10 p.m. and CTV News Barrie at 11. Thanks for staying with us. The Toronto Maple Leafs hosted their first ever Fan Day today with an assist from the Toronto Zehrs. CTV's Jessica Smith hit the scene to talk to fans and brings us all the action.
It will be a March break to remember for Toronto hockey fans.
It's very awesome to be here on a March break day. I just like to see hockey players. It's like really fun.
It's very cool. We're close to the glass. We get to go on the ice after.
The inaugural Leafs Fan Day event at Scotiabank Arena gave fans of all ages the chance to see the Toronto Maple Leafs and Toronto Zehrs up close.
A day where they come in and it's just fun for them, and it's they're not thinking about the game so much, they're just thinking about being with each other and having fun with the crowd.
Both teams playing in their own showcase scrimmage and skills competition, giving fans the chance to see the Zehrs and the Leafs on the same ice.
Yeah, I think it's a huge step just for the game of hockey to have us on the same ice surface at the same time, you know. I'm just trying to grow the sport.
Come here today for a fun little practice day and have fans cheering and the PA system going and the flags waving throughout our fun little 3-on-3 game. It was a fun atmosphere for us, and I think the fans had a great time.
With fans cheering loud,
Go Leafs, go!
And proud,
Go Zehrs, go!
And for fans and players alike, the day was all about celebrating the hockey community and the love of the game.
Because I love hockey, and I think hockey is very fun to watch.
Both clubs to recognize the city's passion for the game and how well they support both teams.
The day wrapping up with the Rogers Screen Break free unplug and play skate down on the ice. Speaking both to the Zehrs and the Leafs, players are saying heading into next year for Fan Day, they're hoping to play with or against each other or go head-to-head in the skills competition. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
All right, let's throw it back to Casey and Luke one last time tonight. They're over at Zehrs on Bayfield Street. Oh, you're joined by Steph, too. Good.
Yeah, we got Steph out here, and before we get to where we are next, let's talk about the Get Up and Go forecast first thing tomorrow morning. What are we looking at? Spring arriving at 10:46 tomorrow morning, and at 7 o'clock. Yes, at 7 o'clock in the morning. What are we looking at? Well, how about, looks like -1, just below the freezing mark. Good evening in Barrie, and very good chance of some freezing rain and some pellets, maybe even some snow flurries. How about a quick look at the Newmarket region, and same situation, -1. Freezing rain certainly a possibility first thing tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. And at 7 o'clock in Gravenhurst, northern part of our viewing area, it looks like freezing rain possibilities, maybe even a little snow coming down. And Feeding Families Food Drive. Feeding Families Food Drive. We've had a good time so far. But where are we next?
We're going on a road trip.
Road trip. Oh, look, they're sounding the alarms. Fantastic. Thank you very much, everyone. Feeding Families Food Drive. Steph, Luke, Sarah, think spring. Warm thoughts. Back to you.
That's all the time we have tonight. I'm Sarah Freemark. Thanks so much for being here and have a fabulous evening.